So, what do y'all think? It's been 3 days. I've been eating 6 hamburger patties, 6 pieces of cheese, and a Route 44 Coke Zero light ice every single day. Probably some of the junkiest food that you could possibly eat, right? Highly processed. The cheese probably has soy oil and stuff in it. I'm coming in somewhere between 16 and 1800 calories. My normal caloric intake should be about 2500 ish, if not a little bit more during training. I'm training now. I just got done doing, let me see. I got to the gym tonight. I did a warm up set, 2 sets with nothing but the bar, just practicing form on bench. And then I did 135 15 times, 185 15 times, then 225 12 times. Then I went 255 8 times, 275 7 times. And I kind of felt like I was burnt out at that point. I couldn't go anymore. Then I went over to incline bench. I grabbed some 65. I did a set of 12. 75s a set of 12. 85s a set of 12. 95s I did. I think I finished with 9 because it started hurting so bad. And then I went over to the cable machine and did some pull down flies, kind of down on an angle, to get the bottom, the fat part of my pec per se, to try to get that rounded cup kind of development. And I did 5 sets of just really, really, really stretching back and pulling into full movement until, just full chest contraction all the way out and squeeze, and then come back your butt from above, and then all the way out and squeeze up at the top is what I was focusing on, right? So I did I think 5 sets of that, and then I went to the sit down machine where you do flies, and I was able to make it through like 2 sets and I was done. My chest was starting to lock up and stuff like that, and I said, you know what, let me go jump on this scale real quick. Y'all ain't gonna believe this. In 3 days, I've lost 3.5 pounds doing this in a severe caloric restriction with working out, pounding the weights, not even really focusing on minerals and things like that too much. I do salt some of my food. They put salt in the packets, but it's just the junk refined salt that comes with the food at Sonic. Literally not doing anything I'm supposed to do. Doing the dirtiest form of keto carnivore that I can possibly do. I've lost 3.5 pounds in the last 3 days. I've been able to focus on my life. I've been able to focus on not stressing about things, eating the most tasteful junk that I could possibly eat, and I'm down 3.5 pounds. I have a Route 44 Coke Zero every single day, 6 hamburger patties from Sonic, 6 pieces of cheese, and I hit the weights like a madman, and I have plenty of energy at the end of the day. I think a lot of this has to do with how much I was obsessing about food before. I think a lot of this had to do with me leaving work, going home, feeding the dog, getting her raw food mixture done, putting my steaks out, having to be responsible for thawing stuff out for the following day. I was obsessing about food so much. What steak am I going to have tonight? Ribeye, New York. Am I going to do a roast? Am I going to smoke tonight? Am I going to make more? Am I going to make a poor man's barbecue video or something like that, right? So I was obsessing about food all the time, and now I'm like, you know what? I'm not obsessing about food no more. I'm going to go home. I've got the dog's food already laid out. She's got it all in the bottom of the fridge per day. I've got the refrigerator so cold that it won't even spoil. I just set it out, go to the gym, come back, it's ready to dump in her container. I don't eat nothing when I go home. I drink some water. I get up in the morning. I drink some water. I go to Sonic for lunch. 6 burger patties, 6 pieces of cheese, a Route 44 Coke Zero light ice. Take my vitamins with my lunch, and I go on about the rest of my day. I eat 1 meal a day. I eat the junkiest stuff I could possibly eat on this with no... And I'm losing weight like a madman right now, pretty much. 3.5 pounds in the last 3 days. And I was the guy that was getting up in front of this camera telling everybody, come on, that's junk, don't do that, you're going to hurt your body, you're not going to feel good, you're going to be lethargic, you're going to be all this stuff, because I was listening to what everybody else was saying. I've been listening to what everybody else has been saying for so long now. I'm tired of listening to what everybody else was saying. I think it's time people start standing up for what they think is right for them and what fits their lifestyle. And sometimes obsessing about food is the number one stress that causes people the issue of not losing weight. I just quit stressing about it. I quit worrying about it. I just found 6 hamburger patties, 6 pieces of cheese, and a Coke Zero, one meal a day, about 1650, 1700 calories or somewhere in there. It puts me in a 6 to 700 calorie deficit for the day. Plus, I'm working out, big weight workouts, and I'm losing weight. I was the same guy that was telling people on the keto groups and everything else, which I do not say anymore because I found to be very untrue, that don't put yourself in a caloric deficit. That's not the key. Quantity is not necessarily better than quality, um, which I believe that still. Quality is better. But I'm starting to believe what people are saying about calories in versus calories out is not necessarily true. And I'm starting to believe that the last couple years of me reciting that over and over again because I believed people like Dr. Jason Fung and Dr. Berry and Dr. Berg and people like that, that it's not necessarily true. There are a lot of people that thrive in a caloric deficit. There are a lot of people that thrive in just simplicity of eating, no matter what it is, as long as the carbs and sugar aren't there. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not becoming an advocate for processed foods. This is a 14-day experiment. But now this gives me an idea when this is done, exactly what I need to be doing. Buying hamburger patties and real cheese every single day. And no more steaks, no more eggs, no more none of that, and just live like this every single day and take my vitamins. I'll be completely fine. I mean, not literally, I'm trying to be funny. But you get what I'm saying. Is the moral of this here is to quit listening to what everybody else is saying and quit thinking that you know it all. Quit thinking because you've been doing this for 10, 15, 20 years that you've got the answer to everybody's problem. Quit thinking that because you do something a certain way, everybody else has to do it that way as well. Quit being the old me that would get up in front of the camera and tell everybody, what are you doing? You can't do that. That's a processed keto treat. That's a fat bomb. That's a 600 calorie bulletproof coffee. There are plenty of people that are thriving off of that stuff that are doing the exact opposite of even what I'm saying, and they're getting results. The fact of the matter is, none of us have the answers to it. All we know is we have to reduce carbs and reduce sugar and get protein and fat in our body, and this is going to make us thrive. Whatever order we have to do this in, however we have to do it, is simply what's going to get us the results. Learning that, sticking to that, and figuring out how clean you want it to be, how dirty you want it to be, how stressed you want to be, how obsessed you want to be is what's key to all of this. Let's see what happens 14 days from now or 11 days from now.